Hello and welcome to the VR Gamescast. We're finally here. Welcome 2022. Wow. Welcome everyone in chat. I'm Zeena. I'm going to be your host. And with me, as always, is Jamie Feltham.
We're live? It's working?
I think we're live. I think it's working.
We're in the metaverse.
We are within the metaverse. We are in Walmart in the metaverse.
We got there first. We got to the metaverse first. None of you can come in. This room is the metaverse. It's all that exists of it. And we are now the official gatekeepers of the metaverse.
Get the heck out of here. You ain't allowed in.
You're only coming in with my permission, so buy me candies.
Can I have candies, please?
Delicious
of course, we are not alone. We have got the Zay, Green Gamer Guy, Adam Hartzell, the Absolute Boy, Ariel Rusty, Wormhole Joseph Thompson, Giant Penguin is in the house, Paradise DK, Matthew Johnston, Jadranko VR, and the whole rest of you. Apparently, Jamie Feltham is in the chat as well, but he's also here. Onikazi, what is up? Hello, everyone. Of course, we need to give shout outs to our members who support us month after month. It's actually gone up by quite a few people in the last month, which is wonderful.
Well, we weren't podcasting.
Yeah.
Whoops.
That's weird.
Let's think about this. Let's rethink about this.
That's suspicious. Shout out to our members, including, sorry, some of these guys I've never said before in my life. The Shermeka 30, Tazzy, Susan Cook, Handy Purnama, Daniel Barween, Jerome Houston, Andrew King, Skiva, Sexy Bicycle, Devin Miller, Matthew May, Rick Tate, Robert Canonas, 360 Pickleball, which I forget what your actual name is, but you're there. Smash Reality, Adam Hartzell, John Westra, and Dominic Fruckman. Thank you guys so much. If you're non-committal, send us a super chat or buy a shirt or a mug, whatever you fancy.
Mugs are good.
We like money. We like to be supported.
I would buy the mug if I had money. You know, a receptacle for water seems a lot better than clothing the top half of my body.
Help us buy our own merchandise.
That would be the saddest story, wouldn't it? Buy enough of our merchandise so I can buy some of our merchandise, please. Wow, this is some next level shilling.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, this week we are going to be talking about our experience in a Zenith's closed beta. It was a closed beta, wasn't it? It wasn't closed alpha.
Yeah, it was definitely a beta, and I guess
demo.
It's not technically open, but they were pretty open with who they gave codes to, so a sort of closed, sort of open beta.
Well, we're going to be talking about it, whatever the heck it was, and we're also going to be talking about our most anticipated games of 2022. But first, boys and girls, it's all about PSVR 2.
Well, but actually, first.
Oh yes, first.
There's a tiny bit of weird breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like it's breaking news anyway, in that no one, if you've purchased Stormland or the Unspoken on the Oculus Rift store, if you haven't purchased them, it's looking like you can't find them anymore, and they might have been taken down. Dun dun dun.
Oh, the unbuyable.
Yeah, so those are two Insomniac VR exclusive games. Fortunately, Feral Rights is still there, thank God, because if we lost Feral Rights... Oh my God,
I'm so happy.
If we'd lost Feral Rights, I don't know what would have happened. But as Matthew Johnson has just said, they removed Stormland? What? Yeah, it's not there at the moment. So we've asked Meta what's going on. I guess we shouldn't dig into it too much until we get an official comment on either this is a mistake and they're back up, or they're gone for good. But we confirmed it ourselves. If you're not logged into the Rift store, you can't find Stormland, you can't find the Unspoken, 2 online Rift exclusive games. So it could be that they're gone and their multiplayer functions have been taken down, which would be quite dramatic.
They're chucked into the pile of Frostpoint.
Frostpoint and Marvel Ultimate... no. Marvel Powers United VR.
Yeah, no.
Jesus, it's basically the same.
Shout out to Dream is Great. Thank you so much for your super sticker. It's a lovely diamond. You're a diamond. Sorry, that's my hand down there. I've left my controller on the table. It's
Shine
gonna
bright
stay
like a
there. It's
diamond.
pointing at my name, to be fair. Anyway.
Yeah. Constant reading.
R.I.P.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Let's give that some space because there's other stuff to get through. But it would be a grand old shame because I was particularly a big fan of Stormland. I didn't really care for the Unspoken, but that would be a very bad thing to lose that piece of VR history.
Yeah, Paradise DK is saying they don't get why they can't make it solo.
Well, you could play it solo, is the silly
yeah.
thing. But you could play Marvel Powers United VR. You could play that solo as well. Although it tried to make you play in multiplayer before you could play in solo. So that's
You know what, Chris Cypher? I had fun with Feral Rights too.
No, you didn't.
But it is fun to clown on it. It is fun to just, get feral on it.
to transform into the wolf monster thing and rip it up.
Brawling.
Look at that accurate hand tracking. Yeah, rip it up. I'm playing Feral Rights with my hands.
Your audio is so distorted in my ear as well. So you're going blah, 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 blah.
If you're listening to a podcast like just on audio, I'm sure this is one hell of an entertaining episode so far.
You should pick up Feral Rights on Akazi.
No, all right, no. Let's move on. No one's going to start praising Feral Rights on my watch, okay? PSVR 2, hit me.
Huh?
PSVR 2, hit me. Do you have anything to say
PSVR 2, sorry, your voice is cutting in and out.
Yeah,
PSVR 2 and Horizon VR. So it got announced. We got a logo. The spacing in the name is a little bit it's a little bit funky.
For the actual PSVR.
It's PSVR
so
2.
Annoying, isn't it? It's PlayStation Space VR 2. And it's just like, Sony, no. All right, no one's going to write it that way. That looks terrible.
I get where you're trying to go with this.
Yeah.
But it's not there.
It's like if you had PlayStation as separate words and you said, and then like the PS2 was P space S2. It's just dreadful.
God.
It's awful. And
it is actually like that.
I will not stand for it. My election campaign will run on renaming PSVR 2 to just no spaces. No, PSVR space 2. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Not just
Although,
PSVR 2.
Saying that, PS5, PS4, whatever, they didn't have spaces. I see where they're kind of going with it.
Well, yeah, but...
check and mate.
No. I don't know. I'm struggling to comprehend what the heck you're talking about. There's no checkmate involved. Like, there's no space, so why would there be a space here? You've got PS space VR 2. Why would there be a space?
So, but we're saying we're going to do PSVR space 2.
Yeah, but we could... Even that's better than PS space VR 2.
Yeah, PS space VR 2 is just...
Oh my God, I can't even remember how it's originally written now.
PS space VR.
My brain has just exploded. Well, so I'm very glad. I said this on Twitter, though. First of all, like, let's just zoom out. Let's take the microscope. Let's twist it like this. Let's come all the way back to planetary scale. I'm so hype.
That's literally the only news I needed.
I cannot wait for this thing. And we're going to talk a little hardware today. Heaney's going to hate us for it, but we're going to do it because whatever. It's PlayStation. It's a gaming headset. We get to talk about it. Shut up.
This is ours, not yours.
And this is kind of gone the way that I was hoping it would go, or I thought it would go, is that, they announced it early last year. They said it's not coming this year. So in my mind, it played out as, okay, cool. Well, maybe we get a little teaser at CES. They start talking to developers more and more. We start getting a bit more concrete information around GDC in March time. If that's a thing that's happening, then traditionally you'd say, okay, well, E3 is where they would reveal all, but E3 is not really a Sony thing anymore. So possibly some sort of summer event to confirm a release date and stuff.
An upload showcase? Unconfirmed.
Possibly on the UploadVR showcase. That will not happen. Funky Sloth, don't you dare write it like that. How dare you? You change that space. You take that space and you move it 2 characters over, mister or miss. Anyway, sorry. And yeah, and so
Don't
and then
misgender the
hopefully,
Funky Sloth.
hopefully we are talking about a October or November release timeframe. Hopefully, they could.
Wasn't
I'm
that the same as
suspicious it could.
PSVR?
Yeah, October 13th, 2016
October,
was
yeah,
PSVR
13th.
1. I'm quite suspicious that, they haven't actually said it's coming out this year still. So I'm kind of suspicious it's going to slip into 2023, like maybe a spring or summer release, which would be it's a strange time to release hardware, but
it's the whole
Let's
chip
see.
shortage, though, isn't it? It kind of pushes everything. I don't know if COVID can be a reason anymore. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But there are forces against us as of late.
Well, exactly, because you've still... I guess you could release it just in the same way that you've released PS5 itself, right? In just, you could release it and then just keep getting as many units out there as fast as possible, but safe in the knowledge that you're probably not going to keep up with demand. Then again, not everyone's going to be rushing out to buy PSVR 2 in the same scale and shape that they're going to be doing it with PS5, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Noam Harari just said uppercase P, lowercase s, space.
No.
Lowercase V, uppercase R, space.
I can't.
2.
I can't. I don't want it. I don't want that. I would rather them cancel the headset than this continued.
So I just had to point that out. And McDonald's had a chip shortage. Thank you very much, Funky Sloth. It is weird that they're not... well, it's not that weird, but it is weird that we haven't yet seen it yet. They've spoken about it so much. Obviously, with the PS5, they showed the logo first.
Yeah, same pattern that I'm talking about, right? Like a CES
exactly.
logo reveal. I wonder why that is. Especially because they reveal, and again, it happened the exact same way. They revealed the controller for the PS5 way ahead of time. Same thing here. They revealed the controllers. They actually revealed them in March or April last year.
Yeah.
And the controllers are one thing, because you're talking about developer kit leaks, and those are probably the most interesting, finalized part of a developer kit, as opposed to the headset itself, which I'm sure whoever's got them, I'm sure isn't the final design. But there are, potentially other parts of the headset we don't know about, and maybe revealing the design reveals those things, because you're going to need to, in our original reporting that Ian did last year, he mentioned that there's some form of IPD adjustment. And we haven't actually, they haven't mentioned that yet. And if you can see the whole 3D renders, you're probably going to be able to identify the dial or whatever it will be, slider.
I genuinely hope we get a really cool up close looking at the grains of the headset sort of video, like we did with the hardware for this new generation.
Well, I wouldn't mind if it just looked very similar to OG PSVR, to be honest, because that's still my favorite headset to wear.
Yeah, it was kind of ahead of the curve with its white design, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, and then the headband thing was so ahead of the curve, they managed to patent it and license it out to Lenovo, which is why Lenovo ended up having to partner with Oculus for the Rift S.
I seriously hope they stick with that. I mean, obviously you said they painted it, so it's very likely, but there's going to be feedback from within the headset, right?
And that, I always thought, when they mentioned that, and when we again first reported on it, that would mainly be some sort of comfort feature. Maybe there was something to do with actually feeling very gentle vibrations and smooth locomotion that might actually help, which would be really, really interesting. But in the blog post, I think in the blog post, they say somewhere oh, you might be able to feel the wind as an object rushes past your face or something like that, which would be insane.
After trying the Vio Aero, I don't think I would be for that, because one of my biggest gripes was that
goes into your eyes.
They run a fan to cool down the screen and it was just blowing into my eyeballs, making them really dry. So I couldn't keep my eyes open.
Yeah. But getting to the core philosophy of it, which I guess is what we should talk about more than the hardware, because 4K HDR, great. The thing I'm very excited about is people say, oh yeah, like the complications of a wire, and obviously that's going to be a big limiting factor for how many people really do enjoy this thing. And I agree with what Heaney's been saying on Twitter about that's going to be an issue for a lot of people. But there's another kind of simplicity to PSVR, which is that it's not run by Apple or it's not run by Meta or Google or anything like that. It's just a thing you buy to play games on.
Yeah.
And I just, in 2022, and I'm writing a little editorial about this right now, that's just refreshingly simple, right? You're not buying it to get into the metaverse. I'm sure they might have some social VR application or something. You're not buying it for enterprise. You're not like having to wrestle through Facebook or Meta, privacy policies or Google privacy policies or whatever Apple's going to do with, like sharing all your media and everything.
Whatever the hell they're going to do, yeah.
It's just doing the best of immersive VR now. You can buy it, plug it into your console. You've already got all your PlayStation profiles and whatnot set up, and just go. And I'm just so excited to cover a headset that doesn't come with the weight of Meta and doesn't come with the weight of Apple and everything like that, right? That's what I'm really, really looking forward to.
Do you know what? Quite a few weeks ago, I think I said calling PSVR a peripheral doesn't do it justice, but actually, I prefer VR as a peripheral over, you have to have your sign in on the headset. You have to do everything in the headset. No, with PlayStation, you plug it in. You've done all the hard bits like way before. I think that's such a fantastic advantage to that headset. And the one wire, we are very, very split at Upload about the one wire. I think it's bloody wonderful. Heaney said that there'll be a drop, or you'll see a difference in sales negatively because of it. But genuinely, I think the opposite. I think it's fine, just one plug-in. And
I guess,
sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's just hard to define what you're going to mean by a drop in sales, right? Because and this is another part of the editorial, is this thing is not going to sell as well as a Quest 2. It just won't. There's just no chance, because it's going to be hundreds of dollars worth of difference, and that's probably without even considering the console. And then there's the wire and everything like that. And it's,
even getting your hands on the console.
Well, exactly. And as much as I like the singular focus of gaming, more and more people are buying Quests for fitness and for productivity and things like that. So it just has a much more singular focus as well. But if you listen to the podcast, you've heard me use this quote a million times. But last year, Jim Ryan said, I think we'll do good business with this headset, but there's something bigger for VR, deeper, like further down the line. And that's the thing. This one still is a peripheral. It's still, okay, let's try and sell 5 to 10 million units of this thing and have this really compelling experience. And then maybe Sony Corp at large, as we reported last year, was hiring for a next generation VR headset. Maybe that's when they step in with something that's standalone and wants to compete in all those other arenas along with a PlayStation element. Yeah, but for now, absolutely. It's just the same as when they released the Move controllers. It's the same as when they tried to sell extra 3D TVs, dance mats, eye toys, all that kind of thing. It's essentially in that category still right now, which is, again, in 2022, with all the challenges facing these other platforms, it's just a very refreshing simplicity to it.
Absolutely. So, But or something said, well, Upload, how many first VR users are now used to zero wires? I don't think it's as straightforward as that, because these are very, technical loopholes to this, but it's not like you're used to zero wires. You're probably charging your headset and you've got a wire attached. Like Kyle said on Twitter,
That's
people literally wanted wires so then they can connect it to their PC so they could play PC VR games.
That's very true. Yep, that's a great point.
This standalone headset still uses wires.
And also to that point and to what you've been saying as well, people say, "Oh yeah, I really don't want that wire," but you're not going to be able to get an experience as visually rich as Gran Turismo 7 if it's happening on the Quest, or without linking up to a very, very expensive PC that's even harder to come by than a PS5. Like, and are they going to be able to sell people, especially even people that did buy Quest 2 in the past year? Are they going to be able to get people over by saying, okay, fine, you enjoyed Resident Evil 4 on Quest 2, but here's Resident Evil 8 and it looks like this, or here's a remastered Resident Evil 7 and it looks like this? And is that going to force people to make the jump? Because I mean, we already put the Horizon video up on the screen once. I'll put it up again now, although it's just a guy from Guerrilla Games talking for a minute and then about 30 seconds of footage. But it looks incredible. It looks really, really, really stunning. It looks like an absolute jump over what was possible on PSVR 1.
I'll always gain a little bit of facial hair, but that's okay.
He's actually you should see how neatly matted he is here in this video. I can't remember his name, but then his Twitter his hair is just up here and it looks like an absolute mess. It's quite a funny comparison. And so that's it, isn't it? It's like there's gonna be a means of selling people on this idea of, okay, you really, really enjoy your Quest 2, but look how much further we can push just the blockbuster side of VR with this console. And here's Horizon, and hopefully here's Resident Evil 8 and No Man's Sky, Hitman 3, all the regulars and whatever else is to come. And that's going to be
the whole gang's here.
Yeah, that's going to be the key thing. And so getting into the games, I'm not actually a very big Horizon fan. I played through the first one. I played through it. I played it through on the stupid hard difficulty that they released after, and then that was a complete mistake. Yeah, that I sometimes do. Here we go. So I didn't really like it, but I think it makes such sense for VR for this to be one of the first worlds that Sony capitalizes on, right?
Sorry, it just came to me as I looked at it. Half-Life Alyx, the beginning bit with the big steppy in immersive intro.
The vista with
and then they go down in front of you with big legs.
Oh it's definitely like that, isn't it?
It's literally just like that, isn't it?
It just makes so much
this
sense.
Seems familiar.
It just makes so much sense with the scale. I think so. Even though I'm not a fan of playing it on a flat screen, I'm definitely going to be interested to see what they can do with it in VR, because there's so much of the Horizon world that, just beyond seeing giant robot dinosaurs, which will be really, really cool, Horizon is all about climbing. And that's something that works very well in VR, as we've known from years of playing VR games. And Horizon's main weapon is a bow and arrow. And guess what? That works really, really well in VR for a lot of different reasons. And it's also developed by Firesprite, who did the Persistence, which is very, very popular. So I am looking forward to that more than I'm looking forward to Forbidden West, which is maybe I'll check out, but Call to the Mountain is way more interesting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me on PSVR 2. I'm just incredibly excited. I really want to see what it looks like.
What games do you want? Like now we're getting into console proper games. What do you want to see?
Genuinely Gran Turismo. I'm looking forward to that. Like a proper get into the car. And it would be so cool to maybe go to get into the car.
Welcome to Gran Turismo. Get into the car.
That's literally going to be the VR spin-off title. Anyway, it would be cool to go to one of those game shows you see, where they have the proper setup with proper, motion chairs and haptic feedback and everything. That'd be so cool to try. And arcades as well.
Where is your second motion controller, Zeena?
Oh, so it's pointing at my name. It's fine.
No, it's not. Right now, it's behind your head, and I think it's distracting
Oh,
people.
wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think you need to.
Sorry.
Yes. Just use
Here
the
we
hand
go.
tracking. Why aren't you using the hand tracking?
I like choosing things with my
fair
my
enough.
stable
That's
finger.
fair.
I call this one.
My stable finger.
I'm in
Yeah.
a kind of dimly lit room, so it's not, very. My hands will be flying off. Anyway, now we got my second hand from behind my head. Any last words? Any last words?
Gran Turismo, get in the car. Any last words? Gran Turismo Mafia Simulator. Last words on PSVR are I cannot wait, and I am really looking forward to just a great software lineup. Like and same same for Meta this year, and seeing their gaming showcase and what they've got lined up. But this is the thing I've always said. What Sony has over Meta and Apple and Google is it has those connections. It knows how to make those compelling software libraries, and it can absolutely stand on its own 2 feet. Whatever happens, however many units Quest 2 sells, it can absolutely not get left behind if it has the right strategy for software.
Wonderful. All right, moving on from there. Get your glass of water. Get it ready because you're going to be talking a fair bit more. We're moving on to Zenith. So Jamie, you're going to have to fill us in on your hands-on, which is live right now on UploadVR.com. You're a big fan. I was a big fan, but tell us why.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I was not expecting to be a big fan. The MMO category is something that you're used to seeing small developers start out promising they're going to make an MMO, and you thinking, yeah, but that's a genre that needs constant, tireless, around the clock maintenance of giant teams to become any kind of success. And it's just not realistic that this team is going to be able to deliver that. And I thought we were in that kind of territory when Zenith was announced, I want to say like late 2018, maybe 2019, Ramen VR. But the thing is, Ramen VR have been heavily invested in since then. They've grown the team. And in the middle of December, they held their first proper beta. And it was my first chance to play it. I know that some non-existent members of the UploadVR staff have tried it in the past, weirdly. I thought it was really, really good. And as someone with not a ton of MMO experience, I have maybe 10 hours in Final Fantasy 14 and maybe 25 hours in DC Universe Online, that most respected of MMOs. And also I did play a lot of RuneScape back in the day, so this is kind of what I'm getting at. It reminded me of this just 3D RuneScape of kind of a janky world and stuff, but you get in there and you're just instantly hitting that kind of progression of getting through the fetch quests, leveling up your character. You have 2 different types of characters, one that does melee and one that does magic. And, it's a very short tutorial before you just get out into the world, basically, and start building up your character with friends. And I think I was fully expecting to jump in. And first of all, the first hurdle I thought it was going to fail was I just basically didn't think it was going to be very good. I thought it would be like messy, buggy, problems everywhere. But the world is kind of solid, very well built. I played it on Quest, so they're kind of over the standalone hurdle. They can actually deliver on that. And then the gameplay actually kind of makes sense for VR. So with sword combat, it's not just wee waggle, thank the good Lord. It's you get like one hit with your sword, and you dual wield 2 katanas. You get one hit with them, and then you have like a couple of seconds cooldown where you could hit again if you want, but you only do 1 damage, 1 hit point damage. So you have to give it like, I don't know, like a 5-second cooldown before you take another swipe. And that gives it a lot of process and makes you play by its rules rather than just, any number of VR games where you just go in, swing like crazy and somehow end up with a victory. And then the magic is, I haven't played around too much with the magic, but it's interesting. You have like these 2 wrist-mounted gauntlets with laser sights, and you fire them just kind of like a shooter more than anything, with some extra abilities for buffs and area attacks and things like that. So I probably ended up playing maybe 3 hours of the beta, just going around the first area. So I'm not like massively deeply into what the experience is yet. I'm really hoping to play the next one, which runs in 2 weekends from now, but I've just realized I'm not home, so I won't be doing that.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's shaping up well, and I think if it's out on day one with enough content for the the kind of crowd that loves to eat up a VR MMO, I think it's going to have a very big shot at being a very significant game this year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I had even less time in the beta, unfortunately, than you. But what I did experience, let me put it this way. I'm very decisive when I know that I like or dislike a game.
Oh yeah,
And this kind of game, I would normally be like, yeah, this seems cool, but it's definitely not for me. This was actually a wonderful experience.
yeah,
Very much enjoyed it, and they incorporated design from other games that I really really appreciate. So, for example, with Population 1, where you just put your arms out to glide,
yeah. That's in there, and that's such a great way. It's very Breath of the
I love
Wild,
it.
right? In terms of just leap into
Yeah,
the air,
it never
and
gets old.
you can traverse what would take minutes on the ground in seconds, which is great. I just
There
noticed
are,
real quick to one side,
uh-huh.
Robert Quinona subscribed to us again as another new
Yeah, become a
member.
member again. Thank you.
That is true
Oh,
dedication,
subscribe
my friend.
twice. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
incredibly generous of you, Robert Canonas, and we appreciate that. Um,
The big RQ.
I'll send you a mug at some point. If I ever get to buy the mug, I'll send it to you.
Maybe with your second subscription, we could muster the coins.
So this is unexpectedly pleasant.
Oh, yeah. So the other thing was when you accept quests, you just wait. You don't have to
You
click
can
on all
wave
this
at the NPCs, yeah.
Yeah, or you don't have to go through all the menu and yes, I know, yes, I
Such a
know.
cool little
You
feature.
go up and you just wave at the guy that's giving out quests and you just take on the next one.
Yeah. It's such
Fantastic.
and that's kind of what I mean of I was expecting to go in and it was like, well, really you could play this on PC, and I don't know why you'd go to the effort of playing it in VR, but there's all just these little things like that, the waving feature, the way they've implemented the melee combat. You can tell they really genuinely thought about why does this one need to be in VR. And I haven't even tried stuff like the cooking element to it yet, which I'm sure is going to add a bit more of that as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll be the one that ends up reviewing this because it's going to need a lot of time. But
It might need a specific person that, yeah.
yeah, and if you're not an MMO guy, I don't think it's going to talk you
Or gal.
around because it's not like the combat's good, but it's not like full on like Boneworks or anything like that. It's still
Yeah.
there's still a level of arcadey, number crunching to it. But yeah, I was just hugely surprised. And the other thing to say about it is that obviously this time last month, I was talking so much about how I loved the crossplay of After the Fall,
Yes,
and
I
that's
was
all.
literally just thinking about this.
Yeah, that's all here too. That's
Yeah.
it's on PSVR, it's on Quest 2.
Did you pause for the space?
It's on PS VR 2. No, it's not on PSVR 2. That hasn't been announced. And yeah, and it's on Quest 2, and it's all playing together again. And that's just so impressive. It's so impressive that we're
Yeah.
getting to that point now that, this time next Christmas, anyone that unwraps any headset basically can jump on and find their friends in Zenith. It's such a cool, exciting prospect. And, again, I'm sorry to say it, but a little metaversey. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I guess it is. Not really.
But
Just
like
metaverse 'cause
we're
you can
seeing
do
some
stuff
people
together.
say, like Base Pilot here is saying the issue with MMOs for him is a time investment required, and that's absolutely
Yes.
the deal here. You will want to go in and spend hours leveling up your character, and if that's not for you, Zenith's not the game for you, or Zenith's not the game for you. But
I
if
hate
it
that
is,
though. There's only so many things that. Sorry to make it about me. There's only so many things that start with Z. So every time someone says it's Zenith, I immediately have to go, huh?
mm,
And that
Yeah.
annoys me a lot.
mm,
My name is very, I don't know,
Zenith.
mine.
My name is my own.
Daniel, thank you so much for your £2. I really appreciate that. Jamie really appreciates it, and the whole team at Upload does. We appreciate that, you know, we know that we start half an hour too early for you, but you still join in. Have a lovely time at home. Let's get on.
Get your slippers on. Pour a cuppa.
You say let's.
We're
going to
be here for another.
You just bought some slippers today.
We're probably going to be here for another like 15 to 30 minutes, so you got some time.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we better get on to the next topic then.
No, as in we've got 15 minutes to talk about Zenith or other things, maybe.
Oh yeah. Well, we have another topic, right?
We do have another topic.
Yeah,
indeed.
a big one that's going to take more than like 15 minutes.
Our most anticipated games of 2022. We recently released a list of 40 VR games that we are looking forward to. Let's just smash on through it. I've got the whole list here.
You
can
all
just
40?
name things. Sorry?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Do all 40 and we'll just, if we want to talk about it, I'll raise my hand. And we'll
little. I swear your hands are smaller today.
Yeah,
your hands are way smaller.
They are way smaller, actually, aren't they? Get it on my. Oh dear. I had
little baby hands.
Yeah, what the hell, man? This is what Ian had the other day, isn't it?
No, that's when his.
Oh no! Why did you point this out? I hadn't been thinking about it. Now I'm freaking out. No.
He got his children to put their hands in front of his headset as if it was his hands. That's how.
Oh wait, so I've just got small hands.
You've just got small hands.
Trump
Wait,
hands says
let me do some hand tracking to see if I've got
says,
small hands.
"Don't handshake," which is a great point. Oh, this is terrible.
I've got small hands. No,
have you? No, your hands are relatively normal sized. All right. Anyway,
sorry. It's like
this isn't
we
that
had
exciting.
A brownie or two. Look at my hands, man.
God. That's why I keep missing things on the tablet. 40 games, Zeena. 40 games. That's a lot of games.
Let's work on through. Actually, 41, but we'll get on to that.
I could have gone for 50, but my hands got tired of writing. So we went for 40.
Tiny hands.
My tiny hands couldn't take it anymore, yeah.
Oh, boy. Let's just start this video up over here. So starting off, Among Us is coming.
Among Us. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to stop saying that because that confuses me.
Among Us.
Okay, cool. Let's do it as they're on the screen because that will be a fun way to actually get through this.
Yeah,
Among Us.
Very true.
Very excited about. Think the most interesting part of it is going to be the social interaction when you come to like deciding who you think is the killer, right? The imposter, and like the pointing and the and the head shaking and,
the
all of
that. Tasks as well, you know, doing this sort of stuff. Fantastic.
Yeah, very cool.
I've grouped together Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell VR. It got announced a year or so ago for Quest. Nothing's really been said about it since, so we're hoping it's coming this year.
Yeah, I think we'll see them, but I don't think they'll release.
The Chulas.
Sure, that's just a 4-player wave shooter. Looks fun. We announced that during the
UploadVR showcase.
Exactly, and I like the art style a lot. I wouldn't say it's gonna like be anything to write home about, but looks pretty good. Cosmonious High. Alchemy Labs. The big guns. You're shaking your head. You're not into it, are you?
No.
Okay. I think it looks cool.
You're looking forward to it. It looks pleasant, but it looks overly pleasant. I don't know. Cities VR, heck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just don't get a say in that one then. Cities VR, heck yeah.
Sorry, do you like Cosmonia's High?
All right, we need to not do it this way because we're going to end up just... let's just let that go in the background and talk about what we want to talk about. I think Cosmonia's High is a very, very interesting one because, Alchemy is at the forefront of VR interaction. And I think that's I like that they're set free from the simulator series with this one. I want to see more different kinds of ideas and crazy, wacky stuff that they might come up with rather than just more, simulator stuff. Have you muted yourself?
Hello.
Okay, good. Shall I bring up the actual list on my phone so we can?
I've got the list right here.
Okay, right. So Cities, great.
So Cities VR, again, it featured in the UploadVR showcase, the winter version. Wonderful, incredibly excited for it. It looks like an in-depth version of a game that's going to feature a little bit later on in the list.
Yeah, but in-depth in an interesting way. I do genuinely wonder which of those games, even though in the showcase, people said, oh, it's such a shame that Little Cities had to come after Cities VR. I do wonder
Little
if
Cities, yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder if Little Cities being built from the ground up for VR is actually going to be the one that kind of maybe wins out in some fashion.
I'm definitely looking. Yeah, I think Little Cities looks more my vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
A little less committal. It's more non-committal for me. I need something that I can jump in and jump out and not get too bogged down. Anyway, next up is Devolver Digital's unannounced VR game. We know that they've got one coming because they were looking for QA people to join for a VR game.
Nothing to say really there.
Not much to say.
Be good, please.
Discronia Chronos Alternate.
Yeah, it's
going to be a popular one for sure.
Yeah, it's those games definitely have their audience, right? But that's building on two visual novels. Although when I spoke to the developer this week, they said actually don't call it a visual novel because this one's going to have stealth elements and stuff like that as well.
Oh wow!
So there's going to be a lot more interactivity to this one. So I'm going to be very interested to see how that one turns out for sure.
I'm excited for this next one, The Exorcist Legion VR Sin.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's good. I'm a bit worried because Wolf and Wood, who did the first one and are a fantastic VR horror developer, are not doing this one. They're busy working on The Last Worker, which we'll talk about in a bit. But this one's being handled by Pocket Money Games, who've done games I like, but I don't know if I hope they can live up to the first game, especially with that co-op element in there, and we don't know how that's going to play out. We'll see.
The reason why I'm looking forward to it is because I can't actually stand for more than 10 seconds in the original game. So I really actually want to play an Exorcist game. But with someone else being there with me, it would help a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. I need help to get through those types of games. So I think if done right, the online is a very smart inclusion.
Next up is Garden of the Sea for Quest and PC VR.
Yeah, good, cool. Farming sim sort of type of game. If you're into that, that's going to be a game that is definitely going to it's been in an early access for years, so many people already know if they love it or not. But
Daniel, thank you so much for your £2. Thank you for joining me on the non-committal train there. And I know you enjoy that very much. The next one up is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas VR for Quest 2. It was announced during Connect. And
yeah, no, you're right. I'd forgotten about it actually.
Yeah,
big one, right?
A massive one, but it just got announced and not much has been said again on that. We don't know if it's going to come out this year, but
I think it kind of has to, right? Because it's the biggest thing announced for Quest on the horizon, and it would be on the horizon. It would be a problem if it wasn't. It would be a problem for the Quest software library if it wasn't coming out this year. They need something big, and they managed to announce Resident Evil 4 and then release it 6 months later. So I feel pretty confident that we're going to get the same sort of thing here.
Sexy Bicycle, the absolute boy, says Garden of the Sea looks lovely. It does.
It does look lovely.
Yeah.
Plays lovely
You
too,
kind of
which I can
compare
say
it
because it's
to
in early access.
you kind of compare it to Bob.
Pokemon.
Nope. Beep beep bop.
Township Tale.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a simplified Township Tale. Beep beep bop bop. Oh yeah, I understood. I can actually understand R2 units. It's quite after years of studying Star Wars movies. Wow, that was a nerdy joke. Yeah, I'm into it. What's next?
Next up, Green Hell VR, which was announced not announced. I think it was just expanded upon in our summer VR showcase.
Yeah, the survival games are great in VR, and they seem to be really going in depth with how to change the flat screen game to make it feel best in this one. So I'm very, very, very hopeful for Green Hell VR.
Next up, one that I think looks fantastic, Hellsweeper for Quest and PC VR.
Do you? I didn't think that.
Yeah, I think it looks really fun.
Listen to my surprise. Do you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks really fun.
I got nothing to say about her. Cool. Cut up demons. Go for it.
Hitman 3 VR for PC VR.
Yeah, somehow one of my most anticipated games for the year, even though I've already played it, just because I cannot wait to play it with 2 motion controllers.
Hubris for PSVR and PC VR is one that you have brought up a few times.
I played. That could be promising. If it looks very, very nice visually, if it is fun to play, that will be an easy recommendation. But yeah.
This next one is totally up my street. The Last Clockwinder on Quest and PC VR. It's coming out in summer.
If you didn't see that in the video, that's one of those games that's kind of like single player co-op, in that you record your actions and then you move on in the environment and work with your ghost recording, as it were, to solve puzzles. And I think the art style for it's really, really cool, right? Like your robots like working in like a food production line or something like that.
It kind of reminds me of Mask Maker.
Yeah, it does have a little of that in it, and there are other games like Transpose. Just to answer Opsal's question, who asks, "Are we going to have to pay for Hitman again?" I'm pretty sure that's going to be a free update for PC. I don't know if that's been said explicitly, but I'd be very surprised if, considering it was just a free inclusion for the PSVR game, I'd be very surprised if you'd have to pay again to play on PC VR.
And then Wolfenwoods, The Last Worker, which we played a demo of.
Yeah, we played a demo of that in Venice. That's definitely one, if you haven't seen anything about that yet, you should pay attention to that game, because it's going to be a narrative driven adventure, kind of like riffing on like Amazon and big tech and big corps and stuff like that in the future. And I was really struck by how assured the delivery of the story was when I played it. It definitely belonged at Venice Film Festival, because even though it seems like a game, kind of maybe on the getting on for the kind of walking sim side, it's a very immersively told and confidently told story from what I've seen so far. And that's definitely one I think people should keep an eye on.
Little Cities we touched on, but yeah, a really cool city building sim. Lost Recipes.
Yeah. Let's talk about Lost Recipes in like 3 minutes, maybe.
Okay, cool. Moss Book 2 on PSVR coming out in spring. We've heard much about it. Very exciting. There's also Nerf Ultimate Championship, which I think looks really fun.
Yeah,
Outlier.
I think Nerf makes a lot of sense for you, doesn't it? In terms of a shooter that plays with something real like that.
Absolutely. Outlier.
Yeah.
For our boys
Outlier's
at
kind
Joyway.
of like a roguelike PC thing. Like Joyway has done a great job with Against. Joyway's done a great job with Stride so far. I would really prefer to see those two carried on to completion before we started talking about Outlier, but here we are.
But here we are.
Here we are.
Paranormal Hunter, which I keep kind of mixing up with Propagation Paradise Hotel, which is also on the list.
Yeah, those are both, VR horror games coming out. But Paranormal Hunter is, for all
You're
intents and
hunting
purposes, Phasmophobia, right? Like that's
Yeah.
that's what that one looks like.
Yeah. There's a Peaky Blinders game that we know nothing about, but it's Peaky Blinders, and it's
Yeah,
from the
I
guys
really
who did
do-
the Doctor Who game.
I really
One
do
of
hope
them.
we see more of that this year, though, because they talk about a
Yeah.
character reaction system of like, if you open a door normally, they'll be like, "Hello." Or if you open a door really fast, they'll be like, "Whoa, what's wrong?" And if you can do that kind of stuff, that'd be really cool.
Sabini. PSVR 2 games generally, we just put that on the list as a hope for PSVR 2 to come out this year. But like you said, it could be October, but it could be maybe early next year. These are just complete guesses.
I wrote this list before Horizon got announced.
Before Horizon, so it's including Horizon.
Yeah.
Breaking Mountains. I forget what it's called. What is it called?
Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountains.
Yeah.
Requisition, which is for PCVR.
Oh yeah.
Exists.
That's yeah, no, that's cool. That'll be like Home Invasion, Home Alone zombie kind of vibes, which I'm into.
Chris Richardson said Stormland 2.
Yeah.
The Shore VR.
Yeah. Coming out Saturday.
Saturday.
Hoping to have some impressions for you on that one. Not sure I'll get the time, but hoping to.
Cool. Stress Level Zeros. Project 4 that we've heard so much about for quite a long time now, but we haven't heard any more about.
This has to be the year though, right? At one point,
I don't know, man.
They teased that there was going to be a preview last summer, and then for one reason or another, that got pushed back. So we have to see it this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope they manage to get not all of the full Boneworks, but the full Boneworks experience onto Quest, because that will be way more exciting than GTA, in my opinion.
Shall we just circle on back to Lost Recipes for a second there?
Yeah, because we're past the embargo. I'm just going to check it's live on the website.
No, don't check. We know it's up.
You hate when I do
hate this.
Well, it's on the website, so if I've broken an embargo, I've broken an embargo. Lost Cities is coming out January. Lost Cities, damn it. Lost Recipes is coming out January 27th. That's the Shell Games cooking game that was just on the screen, and we announced last month as part of the UploadVR showcase. Yeah, I think that one's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's a really, really cool educational title that I think, Cooking Simulator, clearly people were into because it won Best Game on Steam VR at the awards. So I think there's a lot of potential for that one.
There's also another game that has just been announced.
Yeah, let me remember how to... Yeah, Avicii Invector Encore Edition. Or I might not have said that right. Apologies if I haven't said that right.
Avicii Invector.
Yeah. Which is the game that you might have played all the way back in 2019. It's a music game featuring the music of the late DJ of the same name. And they made a game with 35 tracks of his tracks. And you kind of controlled this craft. You button press to the beat. So, if you're going down a course and if the X button comes down to where the craft is, you press the X button. You kind of get the deal. And yeah, that's been on console, PC, and Switch for a while now, but it's coming out again January 27th in VR. So I think there's going to be a lot of... I've played it a bit and I quite like it. It's a much simpler music experience than
it's kind of like
Beat
Thumper.
Saber or... Yeah, it's kind of like Thumper. But yeah, it's much simpler than Beat Saber or Unplugged.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think if you're familiar with that genre of music, I think you're going to enjoy that one. But I don't think it's going to be for everyone. But that's the same is true of the game on console and PC already, right? Like,
yeah, it's more about fans.
If you like, yeah, exactly. And I think it's a great thing for them.
Wonderful. There you go. Oh, with Lost Recipes.
Oh, on the website.
They've got their actual recipes!
On the website, Shell Games has actually put all of the recipes. Some of them have been adapted somewhat, but all of the recipes are actually on the Lost Recipes website, which is really cool. So if you want to do some fancy cooking tonight,
That
head
could
there.
be a really cool stream. Like one of us cooks the recipe in real
remember
life,
we-
and then you do it in VR.
Oh, in VR at the same time. I mean, that would be absolute chaos trying to film me in a kitchen with a VR headset, but yeah, sure.
Blood everywhere. Anyway, carrying on with the list, there's Tea for God, which is another early access title, but they say that the full title's coming late 2022. There's Trial by Tang. Last year, we didn't really hear much from them. In 2019, they featured in our VR showcase. We're hoping this year we'll hear something more from them. There's a Twilight Zone, which we know nothing about.
Well, apart from it's
But
going to be
it's there.
3 VR-themed episodes of the Twilight Zone, which was such a cool idea. Again, though, it's the same thing of it's published by Fun Train and Pocket Money Games, so the Exorcist people, I think, are working on it again. And we'll just have to see how that one turns out. But it's on paper, it's a fantastic idea.
It kind of feels like it would be like a Doctor Strange type sort of experience. Anyway, Ultimex from Resolution Games is also coming to all major headsets, as they say.
That's in the category of Resolution games that I'm probably not so hyped about. But if it's got a cool hook, I will definitely give it a try.
Absolutely. Another game that you have actually given a try, Ultra Wings 2 for Quest and PSVR, is coming out in February.
That's gonna for people that love flying games. That's going to be a big deal. There's a lot in that game, and it runs really, really well. Looks really, really good on Quest 2, which I think means it's going to look even better on PC. But I think that's definitely one to keep an eye on, even if you're not into flying games, because it's very polished and has cool combat and has just a lot of progression to get through. So even if you like the traditional video game structure, I think there's going to be something for you in Ultra Wings 2.
Just an FYI, I'm on 14% battery, but that's okay, everyone, because we've got 4 things left on the list. Veil VR.
Oh, you've hit
Veil
me.
VR, which is something that we tried out. It's really cool. The developers are incredibly enthusiastic and
Peppy.
into their game.
They're a sprightly young group with pep in them. That's the impression I got. Anyway,
Speaking of sprightly young people, Vertigo 2 should also be coming out.
Yeah, Vertigo 2 is another one that if it actually does come out this year, is going to be a big deal, right? Well, hopefully is going to be a big deal because we've seen so much promise from that. The demo was so good 2 years ago. The new level we showed off at the showcase last month looks incredible.
Yes.
And I still can't believe it's all the only as talented as Zach is, the only thing is it's developed by one person. So, how keep your expectations somewhat in check, but I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. Wanderer, which is coming out on the 28th of January.
Yeah. I keep forgetting I'm going to play Wanderer this month, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, that's very, very much like it looks really high end actually for what it is.
High end escape room, but actually focusing on fun VR solution escape room stuff. So I'm just basically hoping it doesn't fall into the trap of being just too hard, but we'll find out.
There's Zenith, and then there is one extra one, Ziggy's Cosmic Adventures, coming out in fall.
Yeah, that's again cool, really, really cool concept. Could be very, very immersive. So, is that it, or were there any other ones?
That's the list.
That's a really good list of games. I think
it's really good.
I'm very excited. I think we've got, I would say, almost everything on that list has promise, and with the exception of maybe 2 or 3, I don't really think are going to go anywhere. But then, I would say there's probably 5 absolute bangers in there.
Yeah,
potentially,
for sure.
potential bangers.
The thing is, and I really actually meant it when I said there's a little something for everyone, because it's covered nearly every single genre and every single headset. I think
Yeah.
it's not going to be like, oh, Quest 2 gets all of the, attention or
Yeah, that's.
whatever.
I mean, when you talk about it that way, you want to be PC VR is the one you're looking out for, right? Because you don't want that platform to get left behind, as we've been talking about so often recently. And I think between like Vertigo 2, between a high fidelity version of Ultra Wings 2, Hitman 3, things like that, I think it's Zenith is being thrown out there. Hellsweeper's being thrown out there. Pretty promising lineup of content for PC this year. And then obviously if PSVR 2 comes out, that's just a whole nother wave of games we don't even know about yet.
Mm-hmm. Astrobot,
Which is
fingers
so
crossed,
cool.
another one.
Yeah, that'd be great. So this, like, just before last year ended, we were talking about how it's such a quiet, weird year for VR gaming. It kind of picked up a bit at the end with Resident Evil 4 and After the Fall and Unplugged, but overall it was pretty like uneventful, right? Like it wasn't a great year for VR gaming. I'm really hoping that Quest 2's going to be celebrating its second anniversary this year. Hopefully we're going to get PSVR 2. We're going to get some great Steam VR games. And let's just have fun this year, hopefully, right?
Yes, exactly. Someone asked, could there be any surprise releases this year? Every week, every other week, there are surprise releases. People love just saying, "Oh yeah, my game's coming out in like 2 weeks." It happens so often in VR.
We didn't expect Lost Recipe. I thought Lost Recipes was probably like end of next year, or end of this year. Sorry, not anywhere near January, because we only announced it last month. So I was really surprised to learn it's coming out then.
Yeah. So yeah, there's keep an eye out on uploadvr.com and obviously our YouTube channel right here, because you never know what you're gonna get in 2022. Feels like a good year. People are catching up. People are gonna be releasing really good fun stuff.
Yeah,
and that just about wraps up this week as well.
All right, cool, good one. We really came back from that whole, oh no, it's broken and we're going to have to do something drastic. Well done, us.
Well done, us. Yeah, for sure. As always, thank you guys so much for joining us. We love reading your comments and having you join in on the podcast week after week. We hope you will join us next Thursday as well. And again, check out uploadvr.com for all of the news and subscribe. God damn it. Subscribe.
Also, Skiva, thanks for stopping by while you're in Vegas. Enjoy Vegas.
Oh, God, yeah. What the heck? Get back in there. Get back in the show floor.
Open. It's open right now. Go see VR. Quick.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll catch you next week. Take care. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you soon.
See you, gang.